Hello, it's Philip here, and today I'm going to show you how to build this door, which you can build up to 18 blocks high, as I have in my survival world. But this version is the 6 tall, 5 wide piston door. Isn't it nice? It's not the most compact door in the world, but it does work. What you want to do is figure out where you want your door. So you say you want the door here. In reality, the door's going to look a little bit like this. So you're actually going to have those spaces filled in by the door. So you need to figure out where you want to put it. So let's say, for example, you have a nice cliff somewhere in your world, and you kind of want to set it in a bit. So we need these 2 blocks on the outside as well covered up. So ideally you would want to have a bit of terrain that's like this. So that's how it's going to look. You're going to have these 2 blocks on the outside. They're very important because they cover up the pistons that you put in later on. They're actually sticky ones. So they cover up these here. So first you figure out the shape that you're going for. Got to figure out where exactly you're going to put the door, and you think, okay, I'm happy with it here. This is the shape that you've got. And then you want to have, and this is going to take a long time, you want like as many pistons as you want to make the door high. So this one's 18 blocks high. You can do it 3 blocks high. It's modular, so you can keep building them up. I have found the upper limit for the way I power it is 18 blocks because I power it in the middle and the redstone goes up and down. Every bit needs to be powered at exactly the same time for it to work. So if you do want to make it taller, you might be on your own with powering it. But I can't imagine it's too difficult. Anyway, this is what you're working with. And then what you want to do is move on to the next bit, and now we're here. We need to work on where we're going to put the next layer, which goes 1 back. So what you want to do is go 1 back from this, and then 1 out as well. So we have this shape here. And these are the triple piston extenders, and the way these work is it'll power one of them and then the other one and then the other one using the stickies and the slimes. And then next we move on to the bit that powers everything. And our first block, we need a solid smooth stone here, and then we use slabs here. And the reason we use slabs is later on, if we copy and paste, we're copying the design, it's going to be the same as we go up. You have 2 slabs here, another slab, and then your repeaters. This repeater is clicked all the way, so that's, I think it's 4 ticks is what people call it. I actually am self-taught with redstone, so I genuinely don't know some of the lingo. Yeah. I call this 3 clicks, because 1, 2, 3. But yeah, that's definitely 4 ticks, isn't it? Yeah. 4 ticks. Okay, we're learning. I'm learning. And then here, we want to have a solid. Now, it's very important that we don't, any solids that go near these pistons has to be solids which won't stick. So what I use is lodestones, and then you need some iron and some chiseled stone bricks for this, but you can also use glazed terracotta or obsidian, or if you want to be really cheap, you can use some moss, but there is a chance that some of the moss will get broken, so I wouldn't do that. But yeah, you want to place these. Now, I don't know if you actually need that one, but it's good to have them. You might as well. Good for aesthetics. Then you want to place 2 solids here and another solid. Then you want to get your repeaters all the way back, and then 1. So there's room here to do that. And I'm just going to double check that's right. Whoop. Yep, perfect. Here's one I made earlier. So we zoom back around here, and we can see that the lodestone is going into that. And now here, this is very interesting, we need a comparator. And this is the part that works really well on Bedrock Edition. On Java Edition, you might have to do it differently. Is we're going to have a barrel being pushed behind a block here, behind this block. The barrel's going to get pushed to here, and that will power that comparator. You might have to do that with cauldrons in Java Edition. I think you can move cauldrons in Java. You should be able to. Anyway, this is what we've got so far. So now we're going to build the mirror image behind the other bit. So you go behind the first piston, and you 1 block with a few slabs behind it, and then your 2 lodestones, 1, 2, 3 solids, and then you get your repeaters. All the way clicked, all the way clicked, all the way clicked, one of the ways. So that's 2 ticks on that one. Redstone, 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 redstone. And then you get your comparator facing this way from that one. And you step back. And this is what the first floor... Oh, hello, the little copper column. This is what the first level looks like right now. And then what you need is a solid block behind the comparator on each side. Now, you don't have to do this, but what I like to do at this point is light the thing up. You don't have to do it, but if you're worried about mobs spawning, it might make you safer. You can put torches in. I just want to be fancy and use frog lights, which, by the way, I've not even got in my 3-year-old survival world yet, so there'll be a video on that coming soon too. So yeah, as we're over here, everything is looking pretty good. Now what we need to do is move on to the next level, which will power the very top piston. Okay, so now to power the very top piston, what you want is a barrel. And the barrel is very important. You want to place the barrel here. And then you want to turn the other way round and get yourself a piston. Facing into the barrel. And then each barrel needs to have 1 item in it as well. Doesn't need to have any more, it just needs to have something. And the idea is that when this is powered, the barrel moves to there, and the comparator reads it, and that is what powers that piston when it's fully extended out with the piston extender. For this next part, we need to bring out a slab and some dust into every bit, and then here you want to have some glass. Oops. So it will look like this so far. At this point we need to make a little staircase of glass. So we have your dust and glass, dust, glass, dust, glass, like that. Very simple. And then here we need to put a target block on top of each piston, and then a slab with your redstone dust. I didn't want to type air or layer, I wanted to type clear. Okay, and now we need some honey and some slime blocks. We need to go inside the machine, get rid of these blocks from earlier because stuff will stick to them. It's very important that at this level we use non-sticky blocks. So I prefer to use these. I know they're quite expensive, but if you're at the point where you can craft 100 pistons for this door, I feel like you should be able to afford the iron. That's my opinion anyway. And then here, you begin the door. You can have these upside down, any variation of this, as long as there's 3 at the back of each, and then you could, if you wanted to, do something like this. I don't think it would look that great. I prefer the giant zipper design that I've got for my one. But you could, if you wanted to do something like this, because you could just alternate the designs and have it look like that. You could do that. You don't need to, but you could do. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to do it the way I like it. And then you want to put the blocks. Let's say we're going to make it out of some warped planks and some more warped logs maybe. So we're going to do those, and we're going to have warped planks. We put these on the outside of each of those blocks, and that will be your door. And then we want to have the top of it as well. And that thing will, at some point, be a working door. So a nice 5 wide, 3 tall door, and you can just expand it infinitely. So now what I want to do is move on to the bit. You may have noticed that we don't know how to power this yet. This has got no power going into it. So we're going to fix that right now. Now this next part is a lot easier than everything else. You just need to come down here, find that original glass block on the corner. Don't necessarily need that slab. And in fact, if you're copying and pasting it more, you definitely don't, because it'll be in the way. And you want to just come over here until you get just behind those pistons. And on the bottom layer, we're going to use a solid, but in all the other layers, you can actually use glass. And then here, we want to have redstone. 1, 2, 3. A repeater with no ticks, and then here 1, 2, and then at this point that's going to get powered, and we're doing again another glass elevator. And we want to have solids along here, glass, glass, glass. And you see we can keep going. At this point we only need it to be that big. So I'm going to test this right now with a lever. And I'll show you where we need to activate it from as well. You need to activate the system from behind this repeater. If you do it in front, it's not going to work. And you have to count as well. Redstone only goes 14, so if you build the door higher, you need to have the powering at a certain height. I'll show you that in a moment. That looks like it worked. Did that work? It did work. But it looks like I've got something wrong. Oh look! I have. I've missed something here. So what we need to do here as well is we need our big, tall platform of lodestones for the comparators to face into. That's very important. And now if I turn it off, that will all retract. Nice and easy. So now I'm just going to copy that design on the other side. Shouldn't be too difficult, should it? I need to just get a slab here, go all this way. Oh, that's wrong. Go all this way. Get a solid here. And then we look at what we've got. We had 3. 1, 2, 3. Repeater. That. One of these. Block. Block. Redstone. Glass. Glass. Redstone. Redstone. You just put redstone on all of these blocks as you're going up. And that should be what we need to do. And then we do this, and that should power as well. That sounds good. There we go. So that's how to build the first layer. And you see that the activation is here and here. So if you want to power it all at the same time, you'd have, you know, maybe just have something really basic just to show you that it works right now. Is we would just have something like this. I need to get a redstone torch. I power that. And I power this. Go under here. And we come out to here. Put a repeater there just to make our lives a little bit easier. That there, and then here. I can just show you quickly. That's how it's done. Oh. The bedrock bug got me. Where have my eyebrows gone? My eyebrows have gone. So that's how that's done. So now I'm guessing you want to figure out how to make the much taller version. So now you've got your little cliff. I'm going to get me some stone and some tuff to decorate this. I feel like I treat myself. Some stone, some tuff. And this is the area that we need to cover up. And maybe some pale moss as well. I do like the pale moss. It's a very nice block. There you go, so we've got this little cliff. And we don't know how tall it's going to be, but we want to have a door where in the future, if we want to make it taller, we can do that. So that's what we're going to do. So now this next chapter is how to do the next floor. And the next floor is really easy because it's exactly the same build. So again, we do actually need that lodestone. We're going to use the lodestones anyway. So we get another 5 lodestones like this. Again, you can do this with moss or pale moss if you really want to, and that would be incredibly cheap. Because look at that. The game's not going to care, but I care. I think these look nice. So we're going to use them. And we just copy it. Just copy it from there. Got a block at the back. You see down there, there's a block at the back. So we'll give it a block at the back. And then you might as well pop another block here. Why not? Enjoy yourself. It is actually necessary to have that block there. So I'm saying it casually, but you do actually need it. And the frog light in there. Why not? So you just copy the pattern. And then here we've got 3 solids. Okay, cool, we can do that. 3 solids beneath the comparator. Sweet, I can do that. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. And a little bit of redstone. Nice and easy. And then here we need slabbies. 1, 2, 3 slabbies. And we have the repeaters clicked all the way to the back. Isn't that easy? And then, oh look, it connects to the last floor. See? Modular design. So now, that was easy, wasn't it? And then you put your glass on the top, you get your redstone, you put your redstone, you get your glass. And again, we do have to do this one more time. 1, 2, I think it's that one. Is it that one? I'm not sure it is. Was it that one? No, it's the one above. So we go, that one. This one here is for our good friend, the sticky piston. And the sticky piston goes here, underneath the target block, with your barrel, with your bit in. And then if I press this, it should all work. But right now we're going to drop down inside and we're going to copy our design. And here we're going to do 1, 2, 3, 4 like that. And we put the pistons back again. Nice and easy. And we'll go over here. I'll give you a second to pause. so your mind doesn't completely melt. And again, we're copying this pattern, so we put stone on every alternating one, redstone on top, and we want glass, 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 redstone, redstone, and glass. We might as well start there. Save that for the next layer. And you see here, oh, pause glitch. You see here that they're all being powered. I don't know how that one's being powered actually. Oh, that's being powered by that. Yeah, that's fine. They're all being powered. And now if I hit this switch, it should have enough energy here to power all of these. So the power's coming in here. So we go 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, and that'll do it. So the point is, when you make the higher door, you have to change where you power it from. But basically, if I press this now, it should work. Yep, that was fine. And now I'm going to show you how to do it for the other side. But first, let's go inside here and make it look a bit more like teeth, because I think that would be cool. So we shall do a bit of that. And you just come around here and you just get free, and then you need to alternate the types as well. And then here, block, 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 and then one above, block, 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 and then they'll click together really interestingly. I think that'll look fun. Okay, so now let's copy the right hand side, and it's pretty much exactly the same story. You put your 5 blocks of lodestones, which I forgot the name of, on top, and then you come around here and you put your pistons, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and you get your blocks. Punch out the blocks you don't need as well from before, because we've changed this a little bit. And you just want to make sure there's only blocks in front of your sticky blocks, like this. And then 1, 2, 3. And now we come over here. And I think, right, we're going 2 up, so we get the solid blocks. 1, 2, and then it's on the third one, like that. You get your repeater, all the way clicked. Almost, oh, one of the ways clicked, so like that, all the way clicked, and then that's got room for 2 more clicks, and we're not going to do them. And then down here we want slab, 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 and repeater, repeater, all the way clicked. Redstone and redstone. Look, it connects to the bottom one like before. Perfect. And then over here we need to do exactly the same sort of situation, where we're thinking, right, at the same layer of these, we need to have this stuff happening. We actually don't need this on this smaller door design, but as the door gets bigger, it is wiser to carry this on. So we might as well do it. It's not 100% necessary all the time, but I'm going to teach you to do it, because if you don't do it and you build a really big door, you're going to be wondering why it doesn't work. So you want to copy the exact design every time. And the reason there's no target block in the bottom is that we don't need to drive anything, because the top, the comparator bit is the top of each system. So you don't need one at the bottom. So yeah, that made sense in my head. I'm guessing I'm gonna listen to that back, and it's gonna give a lot of people a headache. But you know, I'm good at Minecraft. I'm not that great at video editing at the moment, so thank you for your patience. This has been a disclaimer. I'm going to get better at this. I'm an author and comedian, both of which involve me just being silly, and actually they do involve heavy amounts of editing, but it's a different kind of editing, and we'll ignore this. Okay, my eyes have opened again as well, which is nice. Yeah, so we just copy the system, basically. And you get your glass like this. That's not lovely. Get your glass. And that will do it. And we have that extra bit there. We don't need it, but that's for later on, if you want to keep copying the system, you just keep building on it. You keep going up, and it will all work fine. So, oh, I've forgotten one really important bit here. I bet you can't guess what it is. It's the stairs of slabbage, and now we need to get the slabbage here and your sticky piston. Oh, is that wrong? No, that's right. Okay, sticky piston, target block, barrel, single block. And now here, when I press it, the signal is going to come up into this torch. I'm going to go 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 7, 6, because it can actually jump up that slab. It doesn't look like it can, but it can, and it's weird, but we live with it. It's fine. If it makes you uncomfortable, there's no harm in replacing this with glass. Could also replace it with a solid block, to be honest. I don't know why I didn't do that. I feel like there was a reason at some point, so I'm not going to argue with it. Potentially it would work with solid blocks, but this right now, I know this works. I'm confident that if I press this, it's going to close properly. Look at that. There we go. And then you build your little cliff. Maybe we could have a slightly different style of it, so you could even make this out of stone if you wanted to. Nobody would really be able to tell it was here if you made it out of stone, because it's such a big door that it doesn't really look like a door. You can disguise it to an extent, like you could do stuff like this. Oh no. What just happened there, you might be wondering? Well, let's find out. Doesn't always go according to plan. So what happened just then when the door broke is I forgot a very important detail about why I had designed it with giant teeth. Now if you look over here, you'll see that these slime blocks actually are connecting with each other. So what we need to do is that. We need to make sure when the door is closed that the arrangement of slime blocks and honey blocks means that they never touch. So you do have to have the big, free, tall teeth in the door, otherwise it's just not going to work. And that was my mistake. That's okay. I can edit this to go in the beginning of the video. Oh dear. It would seem something else has happened. Oh, pause glitch. I'm just gonna manually rebuild that, I think. Yeah, why is that one broken? Has that not got something in it? Are we missing something here? That should be powered. Why isn't that powered? Oh. I placed the blocks wrong. Okay. I'll get some honey blocks back. Once you've decided where you want your door, these blocks become very important. First of all, you need to have a solid column of blocks here. This will be the outer sort of edge of your door. And that's how that's going to look. And then here, I have to turn all these off. We ignore this. We don't need to worry about these being stuck out. You just want to have a pattern like this. And then same again. And that is how the door will look. And over here, press this. Why is that not working now? What's it getting stuck on? Have I done something terrible with this? I think I've done something terribly wrong. Oh yeah, I've got one of the repeaters wrong. Look at that. That's all that was. So that repeater was slightly wrong. That's very important to get right. There we go. There we go. So if you wanted to make this door, any bigger, what you want to do is do again as I showed you. You copy the pattern higher up. In this version here, the 18 tall one, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 layers, so total 5 barrels that get pushed out, which has 18 blocks. 18 tall, okay, and there you have to calculate where the signal's going to start running low, because you want to have a signal at least of 1 here, and you also need to be able to power this final topmost one. So here it's not too difficult. The torch powers that, which is 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. We still got 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So we couldn't do another layer by powering it there. We'd have to move the power up 1, so then the power could travel up and down, which, by the way, is the whole point of these glass elevators, these glass escalator things, because redstone power can travel up and down these just as easily. So yeah, here I have the power actually routed to this one. So we've got the first layer, the second layer, and the power gets routed up to the third layer, to that solid block on the corner of the third layer, and it can't touch the other layers. Now in my survival world I've actually moved the activation to this gap here. You can really find anywhere, wherever it's going to be easiest for you. I personally do think it should be in this area, and you just want to think, right, if I put a redstone block, for example, if I show you right now, if I put a redstone here, it's not all going to power properly. That top layer hasn't powered. You see? So what you want to do is find somewhere where it will power everything. And from there, it's powered everything. So you have to consider that we've got 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 5, 6, 7, 6, 5, 4. So there, it's really cutting it close at that point. And I think if we put it up here, that still just about makes it, but look at that. Look at that signal strength. That is so dim. I bet that's a signal strength of 1. Let's count. 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. That's pretty... I may have counted that wrong. But yeah, that's almost not enough. It's almost not enough. Any higher up, it wouldn't power. So the higher you have to go up with this door, and you can make it as high as you want. You just might have multiple points where you need to extend it, but they have to extend at exactly the same time for them to work. So you have to consider that it needs to, every piece needs to extend at the same time for it to work, and for it to look good, to be honest, because otherwise it won't look good. One of my favourite uses of a door of around about this height is just quite a large nether portal. Why did I just started typing nether portal? That's fine. So yeah, one of my favourite purposes of these doors is to do a big nether portal. I just think they're really nice to have. So imagine a portal this big, tucked away inside a mountain somewhere. Look at that, isn't that nice? And your friends wouldn't even know it was in your base. You could, I think within reason, you could hide that somewhere. That looks quite cool, doesn't it? Isn't that fun? You walk in, everything works. You only got a 1 block gap, by the way, before when the door closes, but that's okay. You can always put it further back, but I think this looks really nice. You could even, if you wanted, and this is one of my favourite blocks to use to like symbolise a nether portal, is these ones, because they do look like a nether portal. Like a mural of one. I like that a lot. I'm gonna play with decorating this for a second. There you go. Hello, I'm Real Philip Carter. I'm an author and comedian, but today I'm playing Minecraft. Here is my nether portal big door. Isn't that nice? You could, within reason, you could have it as tall as you want. I just don't know why you'd make it taller than 18 blocks. But yeah, you make it as tall as you want. You just need to figure out, when you power it from this side, the redstone goes down and up, so you have to count. So on this one, the powering is on the 3rd layer, and then it has enough power to go all the way up and all the way down. But yeah. So yeah, thank you for being here and checking this out.